Well, good morning or good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the second edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update. I'm your host, Chris Greene, the Director of Network Growth for Avoya Travel. We very much appreciate your time. If by chance this is your first time tuning into On Deck with Avoya, well, we thank you very much for finding us. And if you're interested in our debut edition from last week, it's still available on archive here on the Avoya Travel Network Facebook page. You just have to go to the left-hand side of the screen on our page and scroll down. You'll be able to find the videos. So just to review, our format for On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update, is pretty simple. Each week, we're going to tackle industry news. And let's face it, there is a lot going on every single week. We're also going to take a big picture view of Avoya Travel and its amazing 50-plus year history as a family-owned business in the travel company. And then we'll talk about some smart solutions, some of the resources Avoya Travel offers, and those that are used by the members of the Avoya Travel network of which to build their business upon. So let's go ahead and get started with this week's edition of On Deck with Avoya, your weekly travel update with some industry news. So we'll start with the positive. Last week, I was all excited about the CDC No Sail Order expiring, and it did Friday, technically. But, right, this is 2020, there's going to be a but what they've done is they've replaced the no sail order with a conditional sail order. And they've added a lot of layers of things that the cruise lines are going to have to accomplish in order to be able to do that, in good time. So a couple of the things that they're going to make them do is, one, same day COVID testing in order to get on the ship, and same day COVID testing in order to be able to get off the ship. I think the cruise lines had hoped that passengers would be able to take care of the COVID testing themselves sometime in like a 48-hour time frame prior to sailing, like a lot of the countries have done as far as requirements to get in. But instead, the CDC wants same day. So that means testing at the pier. That means getting on the ships are probably going to take a little bit longer. Getting off the ship's going to take a little bit longer, but hopefully the amazing experience in between will certainly be worth it. Two, before any of the cruise lines can sail with paid passengers, they're going to have to do some preview cruises. They're going to have to test out their own protocols and make sure that they are working very smoothly before they're going to be allowed to bring passengers on board that are paying for that experience. And not only do they have to do these preview cruises, but they have to report back to the CDC with all of their findings. And then if they're successful, they're going to get a conditional sail certificate. And this all has to be done at least 60 days prior to anybody sailing as far as being paid guests. So that takes 2020 out of the picture. I had some hope last week that we might see a few cruises set sail towards the middle end of December. That's not going to happen now. All of the major cruise lines have now canceled all of their sailings for 2020, and it looks like we're moving towards the first quarter of 2021. As our good friend Vicky Freed, Senior Vice President over at Royal Caribbean, said earlier this week, really what the CDC did as far as cruising goes, they switched the light from red and they moved it over to amber. So it is positive news. It is a step in the right direction, just maybe not the step that all of us were hoping for when I chatted last Thursday. Speaking of the wonderful Vicky Freed, and wow, talk about someone who's just a great friend of the travel agent community, great friends to us here at Avoya Travel, been with Royal Caribbean for a long time, of course, with Carnival before that, industry forever. Vicky hosts a weekly coffee chat, kind of similar to what we're doing here. And on her weekly chat, she laid out some of the protocols that Royal Caribbean are going to have when they do finally get back out on the water. And to nobody's surprise, that's going to include short little cruises to their private island in the Bahamas, a perfect day at Coco Cay. But what I thought was exciting and what Vicky mentioned is that they're probably at some point going to be taking volunteers from the travel industry for people who want to kind of be guinea pigs to test out their new protocols. And Vicky, if by chance you happen to hear this, pick me. I am more than happy to be one of your guinea pigs. There is nothing I would love more than to be able to stand on a cruise deck and head out on a great adventure and just enjoy everything that I've come to love about the cruising experience. So again, Vicky, if you're looking for volunteers, I'm more than happy. And if you wanted to be a volunteer, Vicky said you could reach out to her. You can find her information, I'm sure, through the Royal Caribbean information if you just Google that. So Hilton Corporation, big hotel corporation, right? Hilton Corporation worldwide. They reported third quarter earnings yesterday. And again, no surprise here. They were down 60% year over year. But the real positive news that I personally took from this is the fact that 98% of Hilton's properties worldwide are now open, and that a majority of them are seeing occupancy levels high enough that's allowing them to be able to turn a profit. So I think that's not only great for those involved with Hilton, but it's a really positive step for the travel industry. Because let's face it, I really believe hotels are going to be one of the things to help lead us back into travel, into leisure travel. Clients are going to want to travel closer to home. And if you don't have a partner with the elite resources needed to properly position that, help you to engage with the customers that are looking for those kind of products, then maybe it's time that you just kind of take a look around and see what else is available for you. My team here at Avoya Travel, we'd be thrilled to have that conversation with you and go into great detail about how we've helped create shared success relationships, how we do have a program for clients that are kind of looking to travel closer to home. The other big thing that all of this CDC No Sail, conditional sailing certificate, all of that, really what it reminds me is that you need a partner that is connected at the highest levels in this industry, right? At Avoya Travel, we have numerous executives that are on the advisory boards for things like ASTA, on the advisory boards for things like CLIA. They're in constant communication with not only the high-level executives, but in many cases, the owners of the cruise lines, the river cruise companies, the tour operators, the resorts in the Caribbean. And again, they're on Capitol Hill. They're engaging with politicians. And that's one of the reasons why when the CARES Act came out earlier this year, that there was a specific carve out for those in the independent travel community. And it's one of the reasons that outreach, that things like unemployment for contractors was possible for the first time ever. So again, if you think that relationships and your partner in the relationships they have in the industry are not up to par, well, then take a look around, have the extra conversation, do a little bit of extra research, and you might find that what we offer could be of great benefit for your business as you move things forward. Taking a look at Authentically Avoya, one of my favorite segments here, as we've just gotten started here on Deck with Avoya. Talk about a company with deep roots in the travel industry, a legacy that dates back to the 1960s. The picture you're seeing are the original founders, Pal and Pat Anderson. They started off as Hawaiian tour operators. They moved the business to California with brick and mortar agencies and transitioned to a fully online model to create what is known today as Avoya Travel. Celebrated their 50th anniversary as a family in the travel business back in 2014. And when you look at the smiles, right, you can just see the amount of joy, the amount of passion that they had for the travel industry. And so we're so fortunate that that passion, it still permeates almost everything that we do here at Avoya Travel. So again, we're very, very successful and very, very appreciative of that opportunity. And Avoya Travel remains a family-owned business that continues to reimagine vacation planning. They are a fiscally conservative company. And you might be wondering, well, why does that matter? It matters for a lot of reasons, because one of the things that you want is you want a partner that has the financial footing to be able to survive a crisis like this COVID crisis, right? Not only survive, you want a partner that has the fiscal ability to still have their resources at an elite level so that you don't have to suffer as well, that you still feel that you have the right kind of support. And you also want a company that's going to be able to come through this thing still as an elite company. Time and time again, we have heard from the vendors who have told us, sometimes publicly, sometimes privately, that they think that the shared success model between Avoya Travel and those in the Avoya Travel network is the business model that's going to hold up the best. Let's face it, the whole industry's been shook up. Sadly, many are not going to survive this, and who you align your business with will be a huge determining factor on your future success. And again, we're more than happy to discuss this in detail, talk about our resources, get you a demonstration of our elite technology, and just see if those plans help you as you start to kind of plan your future as well. And finally, let's talk a little bit about some smart solutions. And I'm really excited to be able to feature our best-in-class marketing, our brand new marketing resource center for you. These are an optional suite of turnkey assets exclusive for independent agency use, those in the Avoya Travel network. I'm talking about marketing collateral, best practices, informative guides. They've got little coloring books that you can send families, so much more. And all of this is included in your Avoya affiliation. One of the reasons why our shared success model works so well is that it allows travel agents to do what they do best: sell travel, send people on amazing vacations, create dreams while having the proper resources to make all of that possible. And again, if you find that some of those collateral resources, those co-branded resources, are not something up to a world-class level with your partner, again, reach out. We'd be more than happy to have that conversation with you. We'd love to chat more, go into great detail about our unique business model, find out more about your amazing travel business, and see if it makes sense for us to do something together. Building shared success relationships is why Avoya Travel and those in the Avoya Travel network are considered the industry elite. It's why our affiliates make more money on average than affiliates of other travel networks. So please reach out. My contact information right here on the screen, chris.greene@avoyatravel.com. That's my toll-free number you can reach out to. You can always get a hold of my team through the avoyanetwork.com website or right here on Facebook on the Avoya Travel Network page. We're going to be back next week for another edition of On Deck with Avoya. We'll be moving this 15 minutes back. So starting next Thursday and then the Thursdays throughout the rest of the year, it's going to be at 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 a.m. Pacific, live on Facebook. But of course, as I said earlier, archived. So thank you so much for your time. And we look forward to seeing you again next Thursday right here on Facebook Live.